Okay, we should be good to go.
All right.
So first one since Tonto.
Yeah. The post-taunting is what we live in right now.
It's like an apocalypse.
It's definitely less classy than
So
post-taunting world.
what was the first thing you want to talk about?
Oh, well,
Or were we going to talk about? It was
fake news.
no. Before that,
White Jesus.
yeah, Christmas.
Christmas. I just wrote down white Jesus ?
Yeah,
Because it's a question for a lot of people, but Christmas in general, yeah,
Jesus' birthday is upon us.
it's almost here. It's like 2 weeks away, and
Yeah.
what better way to celebrate it than buying a shit that we don't need?
Yeah, I've been utilizing Amazon Prime a lot more than I used to.
Yeah.
It's I'm ready for that same day shipping though. For
Oh,
that
yeah.
to be ubiquitous.
I was just thinking
At
about
that
that
point,
with the drones.
yeah. At that point, that's when we know we're fucked.
Yeah.
Because there's no way we can handle whatever comes after that.
Robots have too much power.
Yeah.
Some girl did a project in one of my classes on AI, and one of the concerns they had in the future is that there's less human input in like killing systems in the military.
Yeah, where it's just robots killing for us.
Yeah, pretty
But
much.
eventually they start killing us.
Like they plan out all the attacks, and at the very end they're like, "Oh wait, do you consent to this attack?" And supposedly some guy has to sit there, some person's in the military, like in a dark room somewhere, drinking a Mountain Dew, has to like hit. Yep.
My hope is that if we get to that point, we don't have to fight. Like there won't be wars anymore. Obviously, that's like a very eyes wide shut type look at the world, because I feel like we'll always have conflicts.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I feel like I guess I can't even imagine a world where that exists. So,
Well,
I mean, you could say that 10 years ago we never thought we would have iPhones like the way we do. Actually, It was 10 years ago that the iPhone came out. So maybe like 12 to 15 years ago, we were like, no, there's no way there'd be touchscreen phones.
yeah. That shit was like so new. The internet, that's fucking changed everything.
Well, yeah, that's hard to say because we were so young when the internet wasn't really a thing.
Yeah.
Like even when we were born, the internet was like almost.
Everyone had
created.
dial up. It was kind of a pain.
Yeah, by the time we started remembering things, the internet was already around.
Yeah, for sure.
So like we're some of the first people who know what the internet is.
It's like grew up on
from when we were born.
We don't remember post-internet time.
Yeah.
It's kind
These
of
are probably the most interesting old people that we've ever had. Because the old people who are like 80, 60, 70, 80, 90 now have gone through the most amount of like changes in the world and society, economics, wars.
Yeah, my grandmother's like 96 or something, and she fucking remembers like Ellis Island and shit.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa.
Well, she's 96. She probably remembers World War II pretty well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because my grandmother
her husband fought in World War II. He's a photographer.
Yeah.
My grandpa.
So that means she like really remembers that. She was our age when World War II happened.
Oh, shit. I never thought of it like that.
So, like,
Wow.
Like, she
seen
literally
some
lived
shit.
that.
She's so sweet, too. I'd be so cynical if I went through that much existence.
Yeah.
She's just so sweet. If I had been alive for that long, I'd be like, oh, I've seen everything, and people are terrible.
Yeah.
Like, every time you think things are going to get better, they just get fucked up again, like,
Yeah. I mean, as bad as, like, the world is, you can make arguments both ways, but, like, technologically, this is the best it's ever been. Obviously.
Obviously.
Like,
yeah.
It's never been better than this. Like,
That's always going to be in the future, though.
For you to, like, well, yeah, even for, like,
except for like Dark Ages when they started going back in technology. Then like maybe a few years before Dark Age started was the best time for that technology. But the future is always the pinnacle of technological advancement.
But I mean, like even like economically and for like what you want to do with your life, simple as that. Like this is the easiest and best time to ever do what you want to do, and not like graduate college and be like maybe in the 60s where you're like, well, okay, I have a degree now I have to go get a job that I may not necessarily like, but like it puts food on the table.
Yeah.
You don't even have to do that anymore.
There's just
you don't even have to go to college anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, I think people are starting to figure that out.
Yeah.
I think that gimmick's almost up.
Yeah.
They got the fucking tail end, or what is it? The short end of that stick. There we go.
Yeah. That whole student debt thing and the paying for education, I feel like that can't last much longer.
Yeah. I don't think it will either. I think people will just stop going to school until it gets cheaper.
Yeah.
And that will pretty much be the end of it. At some point, it will just get too expensive. And then once they start realizing they don't have to spend as much money on the university, they'll cut back. And
do you think that private universities or public universities are going to like sort of, see that the decline in students first?
Well, it's difficult to say. I think the kids that go to private universities are the kids that like they're always going to have a steady supply of students, I think, because they tend to have the more upper class kids go there. So, like, the kids that can afford to go to private university would afford to go to private universities. I think what public universities will start to see is that they'll start getting those kids as well. They won't start getting kids that are middle class, middle lower class or whatever. They'll start getting the kids that are, like, middle upper class, because they're the only ones that can afford to go to school anymore. And that public schools are eventually going to become more privatized in the sense that, like, I don't know what percentage they have. They shoot it up all over our school, like, that's a terrible way of saying that. They post it up all over our school. They just throw it up on walls. They're like, we get this much from state funding. It's like some kind of percent, like 40% state funding. The rest of it we fund ourselves or something. It's like when that number comes to like, 5% and 95% of your education, you have to pay yourself as a student. Like it's a private institution. It's pretty much just getting like tax credits at that point to be a university. If it's like 5%. So the more it goes down, the more expensive school will get, and it's only available to kids that can really afford it, like really, really afford it, like pay it all up front. Yeah. Because this loan system's just not working out.
Yeah. I mean, especially because you can't even declare bankruptcy to get out of it.
No, it follows you.
Some kids, say there's an inner city kid gets into some private university.
Yeah.
And, private university is probably going to be a year more than $40,000, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
So that kid goes to school for 4 years, racks up like, financial aid probably helps him out a lot.
Yeah.
Maybe him paying for it or whatever. But then student loans, that's going to be like $150,000 at the end of it, maybe.
Yeah.
Before, like undergrad, not even graduate school.
Yeah.
And that kid can't even declare bankruptcy to get out of it.
Yeah.
And we're back. So where were we?
I believe we're talking about how much school costs.
Yeah. So $150,000. Dude can't declare bankruptcy.
Mm-hmm.
And shit out of luck.
Yeah, it's pretty much just setting you up to get fucked for the rest of your life.
Do you know how long that would take to pay back just like regular job?
Yeah, I make $8 an hour, and I got a raise. That was with my raise, is $8 an hour, flipping sandwiches.
Let's say that you wouldn't work $8 an hour as soon as you graduate.
All right, I don't know why you gotta put me down, but all right.
Let's say average kid maybe gets a job somewhere making
Joe Schmo
$40,000 a year
at Joe Schmo Incorporated. $40,000.
How much do you think goes to that $150,000 per year? Like $2,000?
I don't know.
At the most, if you're like frugal as fuck.
Yeah.
Like $2,000. You know how long it's gonna take to pay off $150,000?
Yeah, it's gonna take like what? 70 years.
Might as well be.
Is that not right?
No, I don't think that's right. Whatever 150,000 divided by 2 is, right?
Yeah, I thought you were the one that was the math guy. I was going to impress you.
It's like
your head was going to explode.
1,000.
You're like, whoa, how'd you do that? I'm like, Good Will Hunting on your ass. Yeah.
Anyways,
it's ridiculous.
It's a long time.
And private loans suck. It's an entire scheme. At least with the government, you can give you a lot of opportunities to pay it back. Look, Obama rolled out a program.
You might be right. 75 years, is that right? We won't even try.
If we had a calculator, we had a robot here do it all for us. Like we will in the future.
Yeah, no, because 150,000 divided by 2 would be 75,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
that's where I was getting my number from.
75 years?
75 years.
Is that right?
Maybe. Yeah, $2,000 a year, 75 years. Why not? Maybe it's 750 years. Maybe we didn't carry over the zero. The kids are just paying that. And kids that are, colonizing Jupiter and be like, God, we just paid off great grandpappy's debt.
What was it? Was it Bernie Sanders who was going to introduce debt forgiveness, or was it Obama that signed that?
Bernie definitely talked about it. Hillary definitely talked about it. Obama, I think, recently rolled out a program where you can pay based on how much you make.
Yeah.
So
which makes sense.
Which makes sense, yeah, but
screw us like that, you might as well
But I don't think there's interest on the federal loans. I think that's the main difference.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're going to charge you interest for private loans, and if you go through the government, you just pay them as long as you keep up to date on your payments and you're paying in accordance to how much you're making. You won't ever default on it.
Yeah.
Because the alternative to that is people just don't pay it.
Yeah.
And then you gotta get the IRS on their ass, and that's just not benefiting anyone really.
Yeah.
Keep squeezing money out of people that just don't have it.
And then on top of that, think about how much you really don't learn in college.
Yeah.
So you're paying all this money and you're not really learning anything.
We're making a great promotional video for why you should go to college.
Yeah. Definitely go you should go.
I don't know, man. I feel like you just learn the same shit. You just look at all the books that every course has and just read those books instead of going to the courses.
That's true.
And infer your own things from it, and you'll just be so much better off. I mean, I don't know about better off. You won't have a degree, but you'll learn pretty much just as much as anyone else.
Yeah, man, but it's about the experience.
It's about It's about getting to second base when your roommate's sleeping in your dorm room. That's what it's. Be quiet, he's sleeping. Who could ever forget those experiences?
How did we get here from Christmas?
Oh, it was a long, strange journey. We talked about old people for a bit. I don't know if you want to go back to that.
Let's go back to Christmas.
All right. Because I drew a Venn diagram between old people and raisins. But
so Christmas is upon us. Christmas. And how
it's also Hanukkah.
Right. That's what I was gonna go for. Is that people say, well, more recently people have been saying Happy Holidays, just lump them all together because people don't give a fuck.
Yeah. Well, no, actually, it's because people do give a fuck.
Yeah, but at the same time, maybe you have a Jewish friend, you should say Happy Hanukkah, not say Happy Holidays. Just this sort of I'll just throw it all together. I don't want to offend nobody. See what happens.
Yeah.
You can't lose when you say Happy Holidays, so I can understand where people are coming from.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, for a while, at least from what I remember when I was growing up, it's people just said Merry Christmas no matter what.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they wanted to make a point of it.
You just think everybody celebrates Christmas.
Yeah, in a sense. I mean, at least for our country, you have to start debating whether or not. I mean, it is a religious holiday, obviously.
Really?
But yeah,
is it really,
exactly
though?
Right. Do people celebrate? It's not celebrate. It's a commercial holiday here in the United States.
It has nothing to do with religion.
It is so much more a celebration of capitalism than it is of a kid who may or may not have been born, who was definitely not white, but definitely may or may not have been born 2,000 years ago in that little manger. And I don't think it's about that anymore. There's the scenes up, nativity scenes are everywhere, but they might as well just have Xboxes and stuff in their hands as a real testament to what the holiday has become.
Yeah.
It's about consumerism and buying stuff, and it's not really about Jesus anymore. So at that point, I don't know, people are still gonna get offended no matter what you say. So Happy Holidays, Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
Some people get offended because they're like, well, it's Christmas. Don't take the Christ out of Christmas. It's
oh man, Starbucks.
For sometimes
those Satanists.
So Satanists. I knew Starbucks was Satanist before those cups.
Yeah.
The way those Sparky used to stare at you.
Yeah. If I was Starbucks CEO, I'd fucking keep doing this every year.
Yeah.
Just to piss people off, because it gets people to go there. Probably gets people to talk about Starbucks.
It gets people talking about it.
It's great.
That's
not that Starbucks really needs any more money, but
yeah. I always wondered that.
They got to keep their business alive.
When they're a big, multi-million-dollar corporation, how do they keep going up?
They just keep opening shops.
There's just Starbucks is everywhere though. It's like 7-Elevens, especially in this area. You walk, drive down the street, and in 2 miles, there's 7-Elevens every 2 miles. And it's like, what's their goal in the future? Is it going to be 7-Eleven every mile? Is there just going to be like a whole highway of 7-Elevens back to back to back to back to back?
You know, what's funny is it's the same thing up north. Well, you probably know this, like in Boston and stuff. There's like
Dunkin' Donuts.
Just Dunkin' Donuts everywhere. I don't know. There's probably some Starbucks, but like definitely more Dunkin' Donuts than anything.
I had some guy with a Massachusetts license plate in an old fucking beat up sedan with the wood paneling on it still, pull into the parking lot outside my work. He just like busted into the parking spot, took up 2 spaces just for poor parking, got out, like ran inside. He's like, I need a coffee. And I was like, we don't sell coffee. He's like, oh, where's the nearest Dunkin'? We've been driving for hours. And I was like, oh, Jesus. Like, I just gave him directions. I was like, get out of here.
Oh, man.
But in his world, he's used to be like, oh, you want to get coffee? All right, well, just take a left or a right at any turn, and there's probably a Dunkin' there.
They're both the same distance from your fucking house.
Yeah, exactly. You throw a stone, you fucking hit one. But here, it's like, there's not as many Dunkins. There's still a few.
We shouldn't hate on the north that much, though. Boston's a nice area.
Oh, I tend to hate on a lot of people, but I actually like the people up north. I think they're funny.
Yeah.
They say funny shit like when they say like take a Larry. This kid I know says like take a Larry or take a Roger for rights and lefts. I don't even know if they really say that. I think he made it up.
Yeah.
But either way, when he says it with his accent, I lose my shit.
I say take a Louis or take a Ringo.
Take a Ringo? I don't know. See, that's what makes you think people just make that shit up.
I didn't make this one up. I won't take credit for it, but it was my 6th grade English teacher.
Mm-hmm.
But he was also like the football coach. But like in English class, he would like, you know, he's a pretty like rambunctious fella.
Uh-huh.
He's actually from Boston too.
Oh.
Newton, Mass.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
it's good.
And he was a football coach, and he would always like, you know, he would come into English class, and then he would like call out football plays, but like with English.
Oh yeah.
You know, like.
You gotta give me an example. I can't picture that at all.
No, I mean like he would say Louis or Ringo.
Oh,
like,
okay.
That's where I got it from.
Yeah.
And he said like, you know, the hand your papers up to the Ringo or like some shit like that. I was like, I'm gonna steal this.
That's just like solidifying my story or my point that they just make that shit up. It's just nonsense spewing out. Especially this kid's mouth in particular that says it, but it's just nonsense always spewing out of it.
Yeah, good food up north here.
Good food, and what I realized when I went up there, when I work up there, is that everyone has an opinion on anything. And even if they don't really know a lot about it, they still feel like I feel like it's everyone though to a certain extent. But I go talk to my uncles up there about anything.
They're also just really loud.
Yeah.
So their opinions are even more like, you know,
present.
Attack you even more.
Yeah. Like I talk to my uncles about anything, and they have no idea what the hell you're talking about. They'll just sprout their opinion out about it, even if their opinion is, oh, I don't really know anything about that. I think that's screwy. It's like how can driveless cars be screwy? He's like, oh, it's screwy. Who's this? Who's driving the car? I was like, a robot is. No, I don't trust that.
What's next?
Well, I got some other stuff. You can, take your pick. I got fake news. We talk about obscure seasons or obscure like holidays. We talk about Wiccans and the winter solstice.
I've never heard of Wiccans.
You never heard of Wiccans?
Yeah.
You don't know what Wiccans are?
No.
Oh, dude, they're like the witch religion in the United States. They're
what?
They're like it's actually like a real
juggalos.
No, they're not like juggalos. They're pretty different. Wiccans are like real. They like think like, well, I mean, I don't think they believe that they're like goddesses of like the forest or something, and they have like goddesses that they pray to, and they have a winter solstice. And they don't actually do rituals like everyone thinks they do. Everyone thinks they kill cats and stuff. They don't do that. They kind of just chill in the woods.
Yeah. Hold that mic closer to your mouth.
Sorry. I was like, oh, you don't know anything about Wiccans? Let me tell you. And then I realized quickly I know nothing about Wiccans.
Except for that they're tree people.
Yeah, they like trees. They make potions and stuff. I know that. They cast spells. I think for the most part they're peaceful people. I don't think I've ever heard of.
Did we pass? No, we didn't pass it.
Did we pass the winter solstice?
21st.
21st. Oh, it's coming up.
Yeah, today's the.
What exactly is the winter solstice?
It's just, I don't know.
Is it the time
when it turns to winter or whatever?
Is that the official start of the winter season?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because technically it's still fall, which is
so the equinox would be like when it's the middle of it, right? It's like the darkest days, the winter equinox. Or am I thinking
equinox is
something completely
in the
different?
Summer. Solstice is the winter.
Okay. Wasn't there time? Is there a name for the darkest day in the winter where it's like after this it's gonna start getting lighter every day?
Yeah, that's the 21st.
Oh, that's it already?
I think.
Beautiful.
It's around the 21st usually.
I'm not about the sun
That's
going
when
down
it gets
at 5.
dark at like 4.
Yeah, that's not fun.
Yeah.
It's just no fun.
It really just sneaks up on you.
It just cut out the afternoon is what they're doing.
Yeah.
There's like no more afternoon. It's just night now.
Just turn the lights off.
Yeah, go to bed. I'm like, I don't want to. It's 5 o'clock.
Yeah, well, we don't even have it that bad since we live in Virginia, but
Oh,
if you go even farther north, man, like
God,
it's been,
dude, yeah.
it's either been dark all day or it's been dark since like 2.
Yep. Especially when you get real up north, like close to like the North Pole and all that shit, and the sun comes out for like 2 hours a day and then goes back down.
If that, dude.
Yeah.
In like Fairbanks, Alaska, like towards north, I think it's like northwest or like central Alaska, like far above Juneau and all that stuff. It's like they get like half an hour of sunlight.
Yeah.
On like the darkest days.
I can't imagine that. What do you even do all day if you only have half an hour or something? Like you gotta build a lot of fires.
Nothing. You
But
can't do it. I mean, like you do your normal thing, but like it's
what
just dark
normal
all
stuff?
day.
You can't go. Well, I guess they don't really go
But
to
they're
school.
probably used to it. You know, it's just funny. Like we think about that and we're like, it's pitch black out at noon. Like that's crazy.
Yeah.
I would like to see that.
I know it's all like a.
Or the midnight sun.
Oh yeah.
That would be dope.
That'd be nuts, just to see it come up at like any given time. I know it's like cultural appropriation and all that. We're not supposed to diss on other cultures because we don't understand what they're like. But
Are you about to attack Alaskans right now?
That cannot be fun. I just don't see. Like you said, they're used to it. I'm like, okay, they could be used. Yeah, they're probably used to it. You're right. But like, are they not like just like, oh, I fucking hate the winter. This is the worst. Like,
nah. I mean, yeah, probably they hate the winter, but I mean,
at what point? I mean, like, I know you want to be up there because your heritage and all of
they
that.
probably live with it a lot better than we would.
Yeah.
Or we ever could.
Oh, absolutely. They're trained for it.
Like, I mean, if you live there your
guess
whole
it's all they
life, it's
know.
like what you know.
Yeah. It's
So
what you
it's
grew
like-
up on. You're like, oh, it's my tradition. Fuck you.
Yeah.
All right. Here I am sitting in my comfortable basement, being ignorant. They're out there roughing it, and I'm like sitting up there like, why?
Yeah,
Why are you doing that?
They're going to walk outside and have to shovel 8 feet of snow tomorrow morning.
Why don't you just come down here and live in the city and get pizza?
Alaska's got good food, too. They got giant crabs and shit.
Giant crabs. How big we talking here? Like they could kill a person?
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Maybe, but like the size of that chair.
No,
Like
dude.
Alaskan king crab, those things are massive.
Oh, yeah. I've seen that show.
I think their legs are... No, actually, maybe their whole body is huge, too. I don't know. But yeah.
Definitely a lot in the
snow crab
legs.
Dude, that's like eating a steak.
Yeah.
Those things are delicious.
I haven't eaten crabs in a really long time.
Yeah. Crabs is good, man.
Crabs are good. They make our little crabs like little dinky, bitch crabs.
Yeah, the Maryland blue crabs are pretty small.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chesapeake, I don't even know if Chesapeake has any crabs left in it. I think everything's dead in that.
Probably.
It's
Killed
like-
all the oysters.
Yeah, I think all the fish are dead too. Like I read this documentary the other day, and it might as well have been entitled like I didn't read it. I watched it. It wasn't the other day. It was like a year ago. But
So none of it. Okay.
none of that was true. But it was basically just saying about like why the Chesapeake was screwed because there's all these like dead zones where it's just too much nitrogen or oxygen or something in the water.
Yeah.
And then the algae gets
Overfishing.
like out of control, grows, sucks all the oxygen out of the water, kills all the fish, and then the fish don't come back.
Yeah.
And then there's like snakeheads eating all the other fish.
Yeah.
It's really not
Snakeheads,
good.
Those Asian things.
Oh
They
yeah.
like walk on land.
Oh, I saw that, dude. There's stories of snakeheads attacking people's dogs and shit.
Yeah, those things are gnarly.
Yeah, I wouldn't mess with
And,
those. Fish should stay
but-
in the water where they belong.
I think they've reintroduced a lot of oysters because they're like the filter feeders.
Mm-hmm.
Or so they like filter out a lot of the
Bad stuff.
the whatever phosphorus, nitrogen.
That's why they taste
oil
so
and
delicious.
shit. Yeah.
Because they're eating
But I think
garbage.
you're not supposed to eat the oysters anymore from like Maryland area.
Oh yeah, probably not.
Yeah.
Because they're running off all. It's because they're running off all the waste from agricultural stuff into it.
Yeah, that's right.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
Like cow poop and chicken shit and.
I think the entire time I lived in Maryland, I never went to like Ocean City or the Eastern Shore.
Yeah.
So it was kind of weird out there.
Isn't that the touristy place?
Yeah, Ocean City. Yeah.
Ocean City, Maryland. Where you go if you're not like gonna go to Vegas or something. Well, just do a nice little weekend trip to Ocean City.
Go across that 10-mile bridge where the traffic is backed up for like 4 hours. I
Yeah.
used to hear kids complain about that. And I was like, well, I stayed at home and I played soccer.
And
you sat in a car all week.
And I don't regret anything. What's even in Ocean City? What's the big appeal there?
You got a boardwalk.
Oh,
dude,
yeah.
Apparently it's awful there.
Yeah.
Like, the beach is terrible. Like, worse than Virginia Beach.
Oh, really?
Shout out to Virginia Beach.
Shout out to VB. Cool place, but the beach is not that great. Yeah. We have a bunch of local kids. You're like, no, it's great. You should go to the local spots. Yeah. The touristy spots suck.
Apparently it's like really just dirty.
Yeah.
Which I can believe. It's Maryland, so. But.
Yeah.
What do I know?
I would believe that the East Coast is pretty messed up because of all the industrial stuff we've been doing.
Yeah.
It's nicer up north. As you get down south, it just gets crazy.
Just really racist.
What?
Just really racist.
Up north?
No, south.
Oh, south. I was like, I would believe it for any direction, but yeah. No, when you start getting down to like Miami Beach and all that, and then it's kind of gross in another way.
Yeah, that's just, I feel like it's pretty dirty down there too. You'll catch syphilis if you cut your foot on the glass.
Oh, yeah, dude. For sure. Yeah. You definitely got to watch out what you're doing down there. You never know when some drunk frat guy's going to attack you. You never know.
I don't know. Some people have to worry about that, like, anywhere.
Yeah. I don't have to worry about it if I go down there.
Yeah.
That's the only time I'll be worried about it.
We're talking about women.
Oh, yeah. I was too self-absorbed to consider that. I've never been to Miami Beach, though, so I don't really actually know.
Yeah.
This is all stereotypes.
I think I've been there a few times, but, yeah, not that. Just really crowded. It's like New York City but warm all the time.
Beach version.
And, like, a lot of, like, Hispanic people, which is probably a good thing. Like, those people are really cool.
Yeah.
But
Cubans make excellent food.
Yeah. A lot of culture down there. I don't know if I could live there, but, like, it's very vibrant from what I hear. But, like, I wouldn't want to spend a lot of time there. Too much coke.
Yeah. It's one of those places you want to visit, and then after a while, you start adjusting your lifestyle. You're like, all right, this is time to go.
Yeah. It's kind of like L.A.
Kind of like L.A. I've never been there either.
L.A. would be better, though. That's, like, a little bit more mellow out there.
Yeah. I don't
know. California might as well be its own country at this point.
It
like,
could very well be.
Than Texas. Like, people out there just, like, don't give a fuck about the rest of the United States, basically.
Dude, that's convenient because most of the rest of the United States doesn't give a fuck about California.
Yeah, well, that might be a good thing. California is like the what is it? It's like got as big as an economy as France or something.
Yeah, I always read that statistic where if it came in its country, it'd be like,
I want to say it's
so
or something. But
dude, that's what's coming in my head too. So I think let's just go with it.
Yeah, top 10, I would say.
Top 10. There we go.
I wonder if I could even name them. U.S. China. Japan.
I don't know if it's in the right order, but it's definitely in the top 10.
Okay, yeah, let's try and name top 10.
All right.
U.S., China,
Japan.
I want to say India because they got a lot of people.
Yeah, probably India. Probably want to throw Germany in there.
Biggest economies, Germany.
Yeah, for sure. And then like France and Britain too.
Yeah, France, Britain.
What we got? 7.
I would say Brazil because they probably export a lot, but I don't know.
I could see Brazil. You just never know like which one of these little powerhouse little European nations. Like, how big is Spain's economy? Is it doing well?
I know they're all not really doing like. That's why I don't want to say Brazil or Spain because I know they're.
Well, I know they're like upcoming powers
recently.
I wonder how well Canada does.
Canada,
our old neighbors to the north.
So where are we at? 7.
We're at 7. Well, with Brazil's 8, I think.
Brazil.
2 more.
Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia. I don't know. They don't really have a diverse economy. Everything's kind of based off oil.
Russia? Nah.
Maybe Russia. It's just such a large country, and regardless of like how backwards developed it is.
And then California.
California, yeah.
So we got it.
We got them all.
Maybe South Korea.
Ooh, South Korea probably got like a big old economy there. I see South Korea on the bottom of a lot of things I buy. They export a lot of great StarCraft 2 players.
So that's got to help their GDP.
Oh, definitely, dude. Definitely. It's like a really booming, gaming
Top 10
scene.
economies in the world according to Investopedia.com. United
I don't
States, China, Japan, Germany, UK, France, India, Italy, Brazil, Canada.
Canada.
These are countries, though.
Yeah.
Maybe we should.
Italy, dude.
I was gonna say Italy,
Those Italians, they make fancy cars, dude. That's where they're getting all their money. Fancy cars. Oh, they probably export shit ton of pizza. I wonder how much pizza the
California's
U.S. exports.
economy surges to number 6 in global rankings. That makes sense.
It's probably the marijuana. Because
Well, it's not even,
that helps
they
other
haven't even started
industries.
selling it yet, but
Oh, yeah, but they have it in there beforehand.
yeah.
And the more they're smoking, the more they're, they're eating food. Going up the food industry.
All right, so here it is. As of June 2016,
Probably tapestry sales went up.
U.S., China, Japan, Germany, UK, California at 6.
Yeah.
With $2.46 trillion.
Really?
Billion.
Wow.
France, India, Italy, Brazil at 10. Deep recession in Brazil.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Those poor Brazilians.
they got rid of their president.
They
Everybody's
did.
getting rid of their president.
Oh, yeah. We should get rid of our new president.
Well, he's not even in yet, so.
Nah. Everyone's doing it. It's a cool thing to do right now.
South Korea,
They got rid of their president.
Brazil.
She fought that to the end, I'm pretty sure. I think at some point she's got to throw the towel in like Bill Clinton did.
Well, he got it peeled. He's fine. Nobody remembers that.
Yeah.
Who else is getting rid of their president? France's president isn't running for re-election.
Yeah. Isn't there like some crazy kind of right-wing woman that's running for president right now in France?
Yeah.
She wants to
So I guess they're having an election.
she's like a
next
heavy
year.
French nationalist.
Yeah.
That's what happens to you when you have lots of
Socialists.
socialists, but like it's like the pendulum effect. Is talk about it in like political science a lot, where you're in one side, and then the pendulum swings. It's like the difference between like Nixon and Jimmy Carter. You got one. You got a pastor who like a peanut farmer, and you got the guy who's like literally like he has Henry Kissinger.
Yeah.
Right? Was his Secretary of State or advisor or something?
Basically, like
he was like,
he's
I'd make
a real corrupt motherfucker.
He was like, I'd make a deal with the devil if it advanced like American interests. Was like a famous quote of his.
Yeah.
And then you go to Jimmy Carter. He's like,
Not
eat peanut butter,
guy.
talking about world order and all that shit.
Yeah.
Like we need to have a
and
global.
destroying poor people in Vietnam while they're at it.
Yeah. Why not? Helps the economy, right?
What was I gonna say? I don't remember.
Getting rid of presidents.
Yeah, something like that.
Something along that line.
Kanye met with the president.
That's on my list. Kanye.
President-elect.
President-elect. Did he dye his hair?
I think so.
I couldn't tell.
It's like blonde on top or
yeah, it's like
something.
blonde on top. You think he's gonna be all right then? You think that was like his treatment?
Not sure.
They
Not sure.
They
what
gave him
that
a new
had to do
hairdo,
with
and he was like, you know what? I feel better.
He looks larger though. Like his face looks
fatter.
Yeah.
Kanye's getting fat. You heard it here first.
Yeah.
They're gonna call him Big Kanye.
I hope he gets better.
Yeah.
He needs to take like a month off. Just go to the beach or something. Just do some meditation.
Yeah, for real.
I mean, I would probably go crazy if I was in a position like his for a while.
Yeah.
Like basically his for what almost 20 years now.
Yeah, it's almost impossible.
That level.
It's not only your actions and everything you're around, but it's encouragement for other people to do that shit. Like everyone's like looking at him. It's like, we need something new and something crazy, Kanye. Like, you gotta give it to us.
Yeah.
And he's like, that's like fucking a lot of pressure. It's a lot of like bad signals.
Imagine. Like I can't even imagine like what he would.
Yeah.
Like people are always like, oh, he's just an egomaniac. He's just crazy, man. He's like, no, yeah, he is crazy.
Yeah.
Like he's like, if you want to use that pejorative, like he's crazy. He's
Yeah.
got mental issues.
He's definitely not.
That's for
Definitely
sure.
not like what you consider normal.
Yeah.
But in the same sense, like when there's that much expectations of you to do that, you have to even like it's probably hard to figure out what you want in terms of what other people want. You know, like how do you even like what do you want to be more successful? Oh, you'd be more successful if you gave people more crazy shit that they love. But it's like, is that really what you want to do? But if you want to be more successful, isn't that the driving goal to do that? So like, it comes a paradox of deciding what you want and what people want from you. I think we all kind of like live within that to a certain extent, but when it's like you know, that much magnified to the point where like millions and millions of people are watching you and expecting stuff from you, it's like I can't imagine.
After a while, that shit's gotta get to you.
Yeah.
But
being famous is not a good thing, I don't think.
Yeah.
I'm not convinced.
Human beings are just not supposed to handle that, I don't think.
No, I don't think it's no.
Like we can only like I think there was a study done on this, like you can only remember up to 150 people's names.
Yeah.
Like you can't remember any more than that. Like or like you can't maybe you'll be able to remember it, but like you can't put a face to a person's name after.
Yeah,
like
you can probably have like connections with like 150 people.
Like even 150, like if you think about that, that's a lot of people.
That is a lot of people.
Like to know 150 people, like just know them.
Yeah.
What is that? That's like, I don't know. That's a lot of people.
That is a lot of people. That is like, what, one every 2 days of the year?
Yeah, something like that.
So like you spend 2 days with one person, you go on to the next day, and you do that for the entire year.
Yeah.
That's like nothing. I see most of the same people every day.
Yeah. But think about this other thing about this crazy thing about being famous is that all these people know intricate details about you and your life and everything that is around you.
Yep.
But you know nothing about them.
Yeah.
So you see, that's like the human thing. It's like, okay, I know things about you. You know things about me. Like, you know, we trade off this like friendship, relationship thing, and like we just know things about each other.
There's a mutual exchange.
Eventually, that's like builds a trust, and then like you know you just go from there. Like you don't have to like have your guard up around certain people.
Yeah.
And then you become famous, and like all these people know everything about you, and you've never met them.
Yeah.
You've never seen their face. You've never heard their name. Nothing.
But they want to know everything about you.
Yeah, and they know, and it's like they're a family member of yours.
Yeah.
And then you just like you have to deal with that.
I can't imagine.
They expect things from you, like you said.
Yeah, they're like, I can't imagine like meeting like, quote unquote, stereotypical biggest fan. Like if you did something, you're like, I'm your biggest fan. Like
yeah,
that would be so terrifyingly creepy to me.
Right now, that sounds weird, but like at the same time, I think that's like a little bit of it feeds your ego. Like say like we're not.
Oh, for sure,
we're
yeah.
not famous right now, but like if we became somewhat famous and somebody was like, "Oh, Jack, I'm your biggest fan. Like this is so great to meet you. Can I get a picture?" Like the first time that happens, you're like, "Oh shit, I'm the fucking man right now."
You're right. I'd be stoked.
And you know, you kind of like your ego kind of like just nibbles on that.
Yeah,
like,
but it's too much and you overdose.
Yeah,
that's what it is. And when it gets you know the 12th guy comes up to you, he's like, I'm your biggest fan. I was like, finish his sentences for him. I'm like, I know you're my biggest fan. You have a mannequin of me in your room. You want a picture? That's fine. Like, get out of here, you creep. It just becomes routine and it's not fun anymore.
Yeah. It's kind of what happened to. That's the other thing about being famous is like, if I were famous, I would be kind of worried about like some crazy person like coming up to me and just like stabbing me.
Oh yeah.
You know? Do you think about that? I think about that sometimes. Like, fuck the Beatles.
John Lennon.
Yeah, he got fucking murked by just a crazy dude.
Yep.
Who was like, I'm your fan.
Who was
shot him?
Some like upcoming pop singer recently, a couple years ago, got like her brother had to like stop some guy that tried to like kill her at like a signing or something.
What the fuck?
He was like signing autographs and this dude like came with a knife or something to kill her. Her brother took him down.
Yeah.
It's weird. Nuts, dude. Because like it's unhealthy, especially with the internet and how isolated you can be now.
Yeah. And
still feel like you're connected even though you're not really.
Yeah.
It's bad. Just people in their basements that are just like on the internet, not doing anything with their lives.
But
it's a pot and kettle situation right now.
Yeah.
No, but like people do get like obsessed about this stuff, and when they go to these certain outlets that is the internet, you know, and they go to sites like 4chan or Reddit or other weird like forum sites, and they only meet other people that are like them, they start to think these things are normal.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, well, maybe I should actually do this stuff because it's normal. Blah, blah, blah. Like when you're not connected to a community and to a society overall, it's hard for you to distinguish what in your head. And that, you know, there's benefits and disadvantages to that, of course.
Yeah.
Things that community thinks normal. It's not really, you know, used to be generally accepted. Like you could just be homophobic and that was okay.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, well, you know, they're definitely ruining family values. This we should not, you know, trust the homosexuals. And now we're starting to realize, like, you know, that's really not cool.
Yeah, I mean that's happened most recently. This election is like people just sort of, you know, you find like people that think about things the same way that you do, and you just go with them.
Yeah.
You know, there hasn't been, like, this is the first election that I've seen where people haven't like exchanged ideas and like had good debates, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And like people are so separated right now.
Yeah.
That, like you can't even like to talk to the other side is like a sin.
Yeah.
In the eyes of both sides. Like,
yeah.
I used to think of like, you know, I grew up like with the like left-wing parents and like pretty liberal like ideals.
Yeah.
And like I was like, okay, this is like, you know, what it means to be a good person. Like, you know, don't discriminate, don't hate people for no reason and whatever.
Yeah.
Things like that. And then like, you know, once I get to college, and especially like this past year, you realize people are like raised in a completely different scenario.
Yeah.
Where people are like, you know, they're raised, you know, hate gays, hate Muslims, hate Mexicans, hate black people. And that's just like, that's what they learned.
Yeah.
And like, we forget how like impressionable young people are.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, before you can even
college
think for yourself. Yeah.
Like we're still very impressionable at this age.
I would say this is even like our most impressionable stage, like right now.
Probably, yeah.
18 to 22 is like.
If you try to leave your parents' like ideology and you try to find your own.
Yeah, not even that. Maybe you follow the same one, but like, you can get so attached to one thing in college, and you just go with that.
Yeah.
And you're like, because you know you're so vulnerable. You go out like when you're 18 and you have nothing. You know, like don't know what you want to do with your life. So you like, maybe you find something and like. You go to like a young Republicans or young Democrats. I won't leave. You know, I'm not trying to.
We'll not make this a biased cast.
But you know, you go to one of those meetings with your friend or something, and you're like, "Oh, this is really cool."
Yeah.
And then you know, next thing you know, you're in a fucking neo-Nazi like cult or something.
I wonder which club they join the neo-Nazi club. We'll let everyone else decide for themselves. Yeah, I totally agree with that, and I think in particular what young people really want is just to come out and figure out things instantly. Yeah, they want everything to make sense, and they want truths that they can follow and all that, when in reality...
We're just looking for security, yeah.
Yeah, there is no absolute truth. No side is completely right.
Yeah.
Nothing is completely wrong or completely, you know, morally righteous. It's just like... It's all a big gray zone, but that's not a satisfying answer for a lot of people. And it's definitely not, especially because young people are so passionate, it's definitely nothing to get passionate about. No one gets passionate about, you know, not having a side. They're not like, I'm just the most fiercest goddamn independent you've ever seen. I critically analyze each situation, and I take non-biased news sources, and I really come up with my own opinions. And it's just like, and yeah, like people are probably like that because like they're, you know, they're really full of themselves, but in reality they probably aren't like that.
Yeah.
Because if you came to those conclusions, you'd be like, you kind of lose either party. Like either situation, you normally lose, and you have some wins and some losses for every side.
Yeah.
Advantages and
That's what
disadvantages.
the other thing about this, you know, keep going back to the election, but like, is you hear from both sides. Like, if you go to a liberal news source, they're like, how the Democrats can take this loss, and go on to 2020 and win or something like that. Or like Republicans are like, this is a great win for us. This is an American win.
Yeah.
You know, the Democrats lost because they were fucking big corporate douchebags or something. Like, because of Pizzagate. It comes down to like a win and loss situation. Like, how the fuck did we get here?
Yeah. Yeah, the only people, all I know of an election is that America won't win ever. We're going to lose every time.
Yeah. Like, even though we elected, like, you know, a new president.
Yeah.
Like,
we still lose.
no matter what
Every time we're this divided, we lose. Everyone loses. No one's a winner.
Nobody won.
There are winners.
We lost even more.
The Republican Party won this time, but even if the Democrats won, America would have lost.
No matter what. Yeah, this whole. I mean, I'm glad that.
And it's not even like this election in particular. I mean, don't get me wrong. This one was crazy in comparison to all the other ones. Like, it was absolutely nuts, the things that happened this one. But in the same sense, every time there's polarized parties and both of them are, pursuing their own narrow interests and just trying to outdo each other, they don't really have the best interests of the American people in mind. And, like, why should they? They only need 51% of the vote. Or in this case, in Trump's election, you don't even need 51% of the vote. You can just win the Electoral College. Yeah. And that's it. Then you don't have to give a shit about people anymore because you got what you wanted. And so your party won, and you won in particular, but America won't win because the problems that we actually need to solve involve us coming together to solve them and not being separated. Yeah. But that's not what either party wants because it's not going to ensure their victory. Yeah. They want us polarized. They want us split.
That's why I kind of think like Trump only got into the election in the first place is just to win.
Yeah.
He's like, I just kind of want to win.
Absolutely. You know? It's fucking big old ego.
We have like the biggest egos and the biggest like just competitive spirit of any country.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, yeah.
We gotta win. America's gotta be. He used to say that shit all the time too. He's like, America is losing on these trades. Losers. Like, we're gonna be winners.
He's brilliant with that shit.
Oh yeah, like, just the way that he breaks it down so simply for people.
Simple. It's just like people. It's so easily digestible. It's like, okay, you're right. We're losers, but we can be winners again.
Yeah.
Like I remember when we were winners.
Oh, I lost my job, in the coal industry, and I feel like kind of a loser right now. But Trump's gonna make me a winner and bring it back. And it's like, oh. Probably not.
Yeah, he doesn't give a fuck.
He's just playing off, like you're feeling down on yourself. But yeah, what can you do? You could burn down all the buildings, all the government.
We shouldn't say that.
That's what you could do. I'm saying it's an option.
Anyways, let's not talk about the election anymore.
Yeah, I can't digest any more of it.
Fucking went back to that again.
It just it's encompassing everything about us.
I don't know what else is going on.
I think I ripped up my sheet. I got fake news. You want to talk about fake news?
That's going to lead right back to the election.
Yeah. Well, okay, here's my thing about fake news. I can keep it away from the election because there used to be fake news long before the election came out. Those things.
Onion, it was satire. It's like
the satire, but like the fake news articles on Facebook, as I'm talking about, where people would post like Bill Cosby died or he submitted this letter that like really wasn't his letter. And like everyone's getting all up on Mike Zuckerberg because they're like, yo, you gotta stop this. You gotta stop all this fake news on your website. Here's what I think about that. Is like, why is it up to him to do that when all it takes is one Google search to figure out whether or not something's fake? At what point are we babying people so much to the point where like, well, they're so influential and they can't like figure anything on their own that we can't even put stuff for them to digest that may not be true?
No, I understand where you're coming from, but it's pretty simple. Is because people are actually that stupid.
That's not going to solve the problem.
No, but people are that stupid.
I know. There was a dude that came from Pizzagate that came into the place in D.C. There's I heard about Pizzagate? No. It was this whole thing
hold the mic closer to your mouth.
That Hillary was running this like child sex ring.
In front.
She was running this child sex ring out of this pizza place in D.C. called Comet Pizza or something. And this dude actually went in there like 2 weeks ago with a gun demanding answers like to Pizzagate. It started off as a joke on the internet and like all these fake news stories came out for it. But it circulated to this dude and became real to him to the point where he came in there with an assault rifle and then like no one was harmed. The police came and took him down.
Wait. So this guy started it?
No, this guy didn't start it. People on the internet started it. It was called #Pizzagate. Yeah. And it was about it was just like these fake articles that were circulating saying that Hillary and her top campaign advisor were involved in this child prostitution ring that was running out of a DC pizzeria. Yeah. That was the whole premise of it. Even people one of the generals that was appointed to Trump's cabinet made a tweet about it and was like, had all these things about the Hillary campaign. One of them was Pizzagate. Check it out for yourself. Is it true? I don't know. ? And this crazy dude apparently like read all this stuff, thought it was true, and he went to the pizzeria with an assault rifle demanding answers.
Oh, to be like, because he thought it was real.
He thought it was real. He wanted to free the kids. And he was like, bring me your basement. And they didn't even have a basement there. They don't have a basement in the fucking pizzeria.
Well, that guy's obviously just an idiot.
Yeah, that guy's obviously an idiot.
And there's
so
a lot of idiots out there.
Yeah, I guess it just goes into your point.
You just kind of like, you can't really save idiots from themselves.
I know, but I don't think that sheltering them with like trying, I mean, obviously there's advantages to stop circulating fake news on your site. If you can do it, you can do it, You should, because it's just like inaccurate and it's betters everyone. But in a sense, like, you have to let people know that like everything you read on the internet isn't true. Like, fucking do some research every once in a while on shit you find that you think's really provocative, and like,
I don't know. That's
you come to such better conclusions.
Because I understand that like Facebook and social media is at fault for some of this.
Yeah.
But like,
I don't even think they're at fault at all, to be honest. I think the people that are at fault are the people that made it and circulated it. Like,
yeah, but
it's just a medium that they created.
Let's tease out this argument that Facebook is at fault for these fake news stories being circulated and like influencing people.
Mm-hmm.
Facebook can't filter, like they can't really filter that stuff.
Yeah, people are gonna post like random links on there. You can't go through all of them. I mean, there's stuff you could probably do.
It's almost impossible. Like, I mean, I can't really think of a way where you could filter that stuff out, like unless you blocked certain websites from being linked to Facebook.
Yeah, or like ran it through certain code words. Like if Pizzagate came up, you'd be like, all right, well, this is not real.
Which would be an argument for like infringement of users' rights on Facebook. Because I'm pretty sure on their terms of use or whatever, terms of service, is that you can basically I think you can post anything that doesn't have nudity. I mean, obscene language is like really hard to like traffic.
Oh yeah,
police that.
People find real creative ways to say like bad words.
Fake news comes in, and like, so basically the only thing you can't post on Facebook now is like fake or like nudity or like grotesque images of like dead dogs or something.
Yeah,
like which even
and sometimes I still see those things.
Yeah.
So it's like proving the system's honestly, not flawless.
Yeah, Facebook is like, you can't, it's really hard for them to like police that type of stuff.
Absolutely.
Unless they like find this fake news story like Pizzagate and spend all their time trying to like funnel that out.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't think they really have time or the energy to do that. They kind of have to leave it up to their users to be like, oh, I'm going to like look this up just in case, and then figure out that it's a fake news story. And,
yeah. But you think if they could do it, do you think that they should?
Yeah, that's hard to say.
If it was a possibility, do you think that they should like put those things in place? Because that's what people are angry about. People are like angry at Mark Zuckerberg right now, and they're like, you need to change this.
They're like blaming Trump being elected on him.
Yeah, they're blaming all this because like all these fake news stories are circulated on your site. And I was like, listen, his site is only a site because users are on it. Yeah. If Facebook was no one was on Facebook, it'd just be an empty fucking place with no information coming in or out of it. All the information that's inputted into it is from users. Yeah. So like at that point, you have to understand that like
the weird thing about
it's a medium.
Is like, how does Mark Zuckerberg or Facebook benefit from Trump being elected president? Or like fake news stories influencing people. Like even if Hillary was elected, how does that help them?
Like, I couldn't really tell you.
Like they don't get any, like they don't have like a tax break or something.
Well, I think they actually like. I think the only thing I say is benefit is if people get their daily news from Facebook, they're gonna be more inclined to keep going on Facebook. Because that was the problem. The problem is that people were getting their daily news updates from social media, like Facebook, and that's how these fake news stories got into like. Yeah. So like, there's a slight, not really like I don't know, a slight incentive, but like the logic behind it would be that if people are continuously coming to Facebook to get their news, every time instead of flipping on to CNN or NBC or Fox, you went on Facebook instead. That's time that you're not spending on their mediums of information, and you're spending time on Facebook, increasing its value.
Yeah. I don't know. That's hard to say. I feel like Facebook shouldn't have to police that stuff.
No, that's what I was saying. Yeah. That's why I absolutely agree. Yeah. I'm saying it's like, well, you were making a great point that it's like almost impossible to do. It seems like
I can see the other side of like why they should though.
Yeah,
I can see both sides. So if Facebook just started today and was like, yeah, we're gonna police all this stuff and like stop the fake news stories and whatnot, I'd be like, that's good too.
But I mean, yeah, in the same sense, they could just do that too because it is their site, you know. Yeah. They get to make their own rules. Yeah. They get to make all their regulations right. Like they get to, they can do what they want to do with their site.
But then some people are going to be like, oh, well, it's like infringement of free speech. No, it's not because
it's not. It's like that one
company. Guy. Yeah, Milo something.
Milo Dickhead.
Yeah, well,
I don't care about being biased. That guy's not a nice guy. He even looks like one. See a picture of him.
He's got some interesting views, but yeah, we won't get into that.
No, we don't have to get into that. I mean, like, I know people that have the same views as me, and I still think they're dickheads.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's necessarily the views. It's the way he does it. It's the way he comes out of, like, the pictures of him on the internet coming out of his car with, like, his Oakleys on and, like, his slicked back hair, and he's, like, got a nice suit on. He's like, fuck all these feminists on Twitter. Like, I don't care, but you could be, like, even saying, like, what is the opposite of the fuck the feminist? What would be a conservative equivalent? Whatever that would be. Whatever. If it was just some guy that's hyper liberal saying these views too, I'd be like, that's a douchey guy.
Yeah.
Regardless of his political
I think that's the problem
affiliation.
Like, the Liberal Party was going for is that they sort of turned into like this alt-left group.
Yeah.
Where like they didn't want to hear anything that anybody else had to say, even like some of the more moderate liberals, moderate conservatives or independents. They wanted nothing to do with them.
Yeah.
And they were like, no, this is, they adopted that personality of like the typical like really conservative old dude.
Yeah.
But now they're just like 20 or 30-year-old kids who like,
they're no different. They're no different.
Occupy Wall Street type people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they get so angry they just want to argue with anyone. That's what pushes them to be that cynical.
Yeah.
Because they want to even gobble up moderate liberals. So like, you're not liberal enough. Like, bite your neck off.
How can you converse with these other people?
I eat you, but I'm too vegan. I'm gonna yell at you. Yeah, people just want to be mad about stuff, and when they run out of things to be mad about, they'll find other things.
Yeah.
All the way until Elon brings us to Mars.
And then, who knows what'll happen?
Yeah, and then we'll leave all the stupid people on Earth. And only Elon, his super smart, like, hand-picked, genetically perfect generation will live on Mars. And we'll be all here in the trash.
Yeah, I watched his most recent thing about, I think you and Tonto were watching with me about him talking about going to Mars.
Yep.
When he said that he would be there, or like his first rockets or whatever would go there like early 2020s.
Mm-hmm.
And people would be on there by like 2030s. That's not far.
That's really close.
That's 14 years.
We will not even be like middle-aged yet when that happens.
Yeah. I guess we'll be like
late 30s.
I won't even be 40 yet.
I'll still be going to like some trendy bars. And I'm like, whoa, we're on the Mars. You watching like the Mars launch and like
That's
some
gonna
kind
be
of
weird, man.
trendy bar drinking gin.
Because like space exploration has like, I mean, it's gotten better. It's like become more like, I don't know. But
it's expanded a lot.
It's expanded, but if you think about it, like the way technology increases and the way it like improves on itself, it should have happened a lot quicker.
Yeah.
From our first moon landing in 1969,
mm-hmm.
the way that history has gone, like it should have increased it like tenfold instead of like 70 years afterwards or whatever.
Yeah.
70 plus years afterwards.
Well, I think a lot of that has to come to whether or not, like, what's the incentives to go there. Yeah. Everything that's, like, pretty much I think maybe that argument you could say that the moon landing was something that was pushed by it was, like, not it was artificial. It wasn't natural. Because, like, we went there to beat the Soviets. It was a U.S.-funded project to do it. Yeah. There wasn't any capital adventures there.
Well, mate, that's what we need.
Yeah, that's exactly what Elon Musk is doing. That's exactly
like China to like try and go there before us, and then we fucking
dude, they're trying. They got their space program and it's like picking up.
Yeah,
they got as soon as you get private businesses involved, it's crazy.
Yeah, but you think about like, all right, so here I'm trying to like pull this point together. Is like railroads. When was the first car was made? 1900s.
Something like that.
First like single like engine car or whatever.
Yeah.
Was like early 1900s, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And so say right before that we had horse-drawn carriages.
Mm-hmm. Like horses and buggies.
1899, everybody had a horse-drawn carriage.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we had some sort of like an engine car. And then I guess Model T was probably like 19 teens.
Yeah.
So that was like 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, granted, that's not like going to the moon.
Yeah.
Which is probably a lot. I mean, obviously a lot harder. But but you see what I mean? Like we went from nobody thinking, even fathoming like what a car is. In 1894.
Yeah.
To 1915, we have cars on the road.
Yeah.
Like that's 20 years.
Yeah.
And then we're on the moon in 1969.
Or supposedly.
Yeah. Fuck.
You want to get into that?
And then we're still not on Mars. And it's been 60 plus years.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's. I don't know. It's hard to say.
I just think
I just want to go to Mars. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. I just think as long as there's the capital interest there, people would do it. Like if you could sell cars to people, and you know, if there was a market to it, and you could like, you know, there's economic incentives there. Yeah. Then technology will move really quickly.
Yeah. I think the next step that maybe we'll push this towards like outer space.
Sex robots.
Is
never mind.
Is like stratosphere travel.
Yeah.
So like what Richard Branson's trying to do is like, you know, cut down the time from like New York to LA to being like an hour flight or whatever, because you just go higher in the atmosphere.
You just go up and then kind of back down. Yeah.
You just fucking zoom.
Yeah.
Right. And that cuts down time, you know, between countries and states and whatnot.
That's interesting.
And like I feel like that will eventually accelerate space exploration, because like that'll improve technology.
Yeah, move technology in that direction of breaking the atmosphere and gravity and all that.
Yeah, but I guess I can't really say that like technology hasn't like. I mean, it's improved in other ways. Like, have you seen the picture of the first like 256 millibyte hard drive or whatever?
No. Is it big?
It's like the size of this room. In
nice.
50 something, 40s, whatever.
Yeah.
Like the first like computers, which weren't really even computers. They were just like giant rooms.
Oh yeah, you're talking about the old ones.
Of, like, you know, half of this laptop.
Yeah.
Not even. And then you see like the 2 terabyte like SanDisk things that are like this big. And it's like, that's fucking nuts.
That was quick.
That was like, yeah, that one was pretty quick.
Compressing all that down. It's nuts, dude. It truly is. Yeah. And I think the industries that will see the greatest growth, like in terms of technologically rapid. Yeah, that's why I said sex robots. It's gonna be the ones that like virtual reality. Yeah. Virtual reality is coming mainstream now. Yeah. It's almost attached to everything because people wanna. Yeah. They like the idea of being in a different world.
The big ones are VR, self-driving cars. I would say like faster plane travel.
Probably faster trains.
Yeah. Have you seen the Hyperloop?
No, I haven't. I heard about it.
Thing that Musk is working on. This dude's a fucking powerhouse.
Yeah,
dude. If he dies, we're fucked on all this. Yeah, because nobody else is like.
There'll be another one to take his place.
There's nobody else to step up. Like right now, at least, maybe in like a couple of years.
I wonder what he eats.
But, like, I hope really well.
It's like a bunch of spinach.
But it's like a proposed thing from. I think it's from like San Francisco to Los Angeles, but it's I don't know how long that takes, but I think it's. If the Hyperloop works properly or whatever, it's supposed to take like 20 minutes or something.
Whoa.
Yeah. So
I don't know how long it takes either, but it's probably a lot longer than 20 minutes.
Yeah.
By car.
So I think he proposes that be like a train system that goes around the entire country or whatever.
Yes, like like Icebreaker. That movie. Never mind.
Is it called Icebreaker?
I think so. I don't remember.
Yeah. But anyway.
Do you know what movie I'm talking about?
Yeah. I think we watched that. It was awful. Awful.
You didn't like it?
It was. Why were they on a fucking train the whole time?
Because that was the last train in civilization. They had to keep moving because I don't know. I can't explain to you why.
Yeah, exactly.
I couldn't explain it. It was a whole thing about class warfare.
I would have just been like, "Fuck this! I'm jumping out of this thing. I don't want to be a fucking train the rest of my life."
Well, for some people it was like really rad, but for others it kind of sucked.
Yeah.
I would be cool with like the entire social system breaking down, as long as I was in the comfortable upper class part of it. As long as I was on one of the front of the train, you know. Oh yeah, with my cup of tea, like,
at that point you gotta like have all the stuff before that happens.
Yeah,
that influences what you have afterwards.
Well, I could prove that it could be useful. You know, if the world breaks down, you know, like the social order and all that, it's the people with the most skills are gonna be the most useful ones.
Yeah.
But which was something I really shouldn't hope for because I have no skills at all.
Yeah, what skills would you need? Like fire skills.
Hunting. like electricity, things like water purification.
Basically, like the skills that matter.
Yeah, things that like run cities that no one like appreciates on a daily basis, but they don't appreciate how much work goes into like fucking turning a faucet on.
Yeah,
those skills. Not my skills.
Those are the skills we don't have because college doesn't teach you those things.
No.
Boom. Okay, we're good.
Drop the mic.
Until next time, folks.